How you doing, Devin?
Doing good, Kyle. How are you doing?
It's so good to see your face again, my friend. I'm living the dream. Angela, hello.
Howdy.
How are you?
Great. Sunny day in
Very,
Denver.
very good. Another day in the December in Denver. Great place to be. Very cold. We're not going to talk about where we are though, because we have a different, have a different icebreaker planned. It's going to be just a lot of fun and very revelatory about both of you, because we're going to kill a little bit of time to let people join, grab your afternoon coffee, do whatever it is, ask your inevitable questions about whether or not this is being recorded. It is being recorded. You will get the recording. We're going to get going here in a minute and talk all about how to accelerate into 2026, and specifically how you can use ClickUp and ClickUp AI in service of that acceleration. Before we get into the topic du jour, I have an icebreaker question for both of you. I'm going to start with you, Angela. Angela, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh man. I want to be able to transport myself faster. So I have to sit on a plane and wait for delays. And just get places faster. I feel like sitting in traffic is wasting time. I want to be able to get places faster.
I like it. It all comes back to productivity with you, Angela. It all comes back to productivity.
You know me.
Amazing. Well, you take something like 3,000 flights per year, so I'm not surprised that teleportation is high on your list. Devin, Same question for you. Superpower and why?
I appreciate going second. This is a hard one. I've been having to help my kids with a lot of homework. So if I could just have the answers to like English questions, math questions, especially like social studies and history questions, that would just make my evening life so much easier.
100%. I love that. I was getting quizzed by my 8-year-old nephew on all these things about the solar system. I was like, I have no idea. I graduated from college. I don't know the answers to this stuff. And he's an absolute whiz. So that's a great answer, Devin. All right, we have filibustered enough. We have killed enough time. And it is time to jump into, as we mentioned, the topic for today, which is how to win in 2026 and accelerate productivity, specifically with AI. We are your esteemed panel. I'm Kyle Coleman. I lead the marketing team here at ClickUp, and I'll allow Devin to introduce himself.
Yeah, so Devin Stoker, the director of the AI Solutions Center of Excellence. My team focuses on building out new solutions that you're actually going to be seeing some of them today. The Department Accelerators you're seeing, this is kind of the stuff that my team builds and is happy to come and share with you.
Awesome. Angela?
Love it. I'm Angela Bunner. I'm the field CTO, and my role is meeting with customers every day all over the world and talking about ClickUp and our vision and our roadmap. And when I'm not meeting with customers, I'm the voice of the customer back with product, and I work day in, day out with our product leads across the teams, across all 25 squads that we have of our feature set of ClickUp to help drive more and more new features.
I can't think of two better people to talk about what is possible with ClickUp and what our customers are doing with ClickUp to achieve this kind of acceleration that we're talking about. Because Angela, Devin, you two are embedded with customers, and you are the foremost ClickUp super users that I think we have at the company. So you have all of the expertise in the world, and I'm excited to hear you unpack that. And the reason that all this matters, the reason we're talking about this today, is because companies that don't embrace AI acceleration in 2026 and beyond are inevitably going to get left behind. That is just a fact of life. The problem is that achieving this real AI acceleration, achieving the real results that are promised from AI, is being silently killed and throttled by this problem of work sprawl. We hear this over and over and over again from all of our customers and from the market writ large. And when we ask them, well, what do you mean by work sprawl? What's happening here? We hear the same thing, which is what we're trying to do feels broken. We're bouncing across all these different tools. We've got some people operate this way. They have a process for this. It's a little bit different here. It's not standardized. We feel like there's just a lot of friction in the work that we're trying to get done. And the sum of this problem is a $2.1 trillion erased from the economy every single year. Surely there is a better way of getting work done. And surely you can do that using ClickUp. And that's what we're going to talk to you about today. How can you think about the processes that you run? How can you think about the workflows that you're operating on? How can you think about the tools that you use? And how can you strip out all of that friction and achieve real AI acceleration via the convergence of your people, your software, and your AI agents? And that's what you get inside of ClickUp. ClickUp is the first converged AI workspace that puts an end to work sprawl. I mentioned all these different apps that you're used to bouncing across all together in a single place. to power all these different AI tools, capabilities, agents, and workflows. And the cool thing, and what we're going to spend a lot of time on today, is talking to you about what ClickUp's approach is to AI, why it's a little bit or very different from other AI solutions that you've seen on the market, and how you can put it to use literally on day one of a ClickUp deployment. Or for many of you who are already ClickUp customers, you can go use it right now. As soon as this light bulb goes off for you, you won't be able to go back. And what we're going to be talking about specifically is the frame of this new package that we have that's going to help folks get off the ground. It's called the ClickUp Accelerator. It brings you everything that you know and love inside ClickUp, the Converge AI workspace and all the different work apps you need, plus all the AI capabilities you need, plus our expert services to get you up and running in as little as 20 days. And so as we talk about the ClickUp Accelerator, we have been working very closely with our customers to understand what are the key use cases that we're powering across different departments. And we're going to talk you through 5 different departments today that are getting the most use out of ClickUp AI. And we're going to show you a couple of the most popular agents that they're using to maximize their productivity. And when you do this and do this well, the beauty of this is you go from this plethora of disconnected tools and systems to a single application that's powering all of these different departments. And the virtue of that is now your departments start to work a lot more interoperably. What's happening in product is available to the people in marketing. And what's happening in finance is available to the people in HR and everything in between. So your company really, truly starts rowing in the same direction. And again, a lot of this, what we're going to talk about today, this is not to slow you down. You probably hear, and many people get intimidated by the timelines you see for different implementations and certainly different AI implementations. Oh, let's sign up today. And then in 12 months, we might have something we can use, some new AI agent that we can use. No. ClickUp is specifically designed to help you accelerate and to help you run. And we have, of course, we need to understand the types of workflows we need to build. But once we have that understanding, you're up and running in 2 to 3 weeks. It's a pretty cool thing. So let's talk about how we do this. And I'm going to pass the mic to Angela, because Angela, again, you're embedded with all of these customers and you work with a ton of marketing teams. Would love you to speak to the value that marketing teams are getting from ClickUp and what you're seeing them do with AI.
Yeah, we're excited to talk about the accelerators. So like Kyle mentioned, what we've done is we've packaged the best of the best of agents in these accelerator packages. And we're going to go through and show you examples of our top 5 different use cases and departments that are using the accelerators. Out of curiosity, how many of y'all are in marketing? I don't know if there's a way to do a poll or.
Yeah, put a 1 in the chat if you're in marketing.
There we go.
I think we're going to see a lot of them.
That's kind of what I expected. And that's why we're starting with marketing. Marketing is one of our most popular use cases. And then we'll talk about product and services later, also kind of a fast follows. But, we work with teams every day and I talk with companies that like I'm visiting today as well. And one of the biggest challenges that everybody has is like, how do I get going quickly? And so what we've done with the marketing accelerator is really package the most popular and easiest to use agents to help marketers, whether it's creating ad copy, whether it's checking for brand tone and voice when you're creating new content, creating your creative brief, right? Or your email subject lines and blog posts. Like there's so many creative ways that you can use ClickUp from an agent perspective. And what we've done is package them to help you automate as many processes across your campaign and marketing teams so that you can move faster. So Devin's going to give us a quick peek at 2 of those agents in action.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. So like Angela said, and like Kyle said, we have a lot of agents here that are available for you to use. I wish I had time to show you every single one of them today. And it'd be a lot. You probably don't even have that much patience to sit through 50 different agents for us to be able to show you on a single call. So I'll just be showing you a couple, starting off with our creative brief agent for marketing teams. Anytime you have a new request coming in, whether it's a new campaign you're running, maybe it's a new marketing project, getting it started and getting the campaign brief created for you is just kind of a hassle. Let us help you do that. And this is where our creative brief agent comes into place, helping be able to take that request, that dynamic content that's a part of this request, and turning into a high quality, polished campaign brief or a creative brief for your teams to be able to run and use. It's going to generate this content for you. You can even have it reference a specific format that maybe your team specifically wants to run and use. And then maybe at the end of it, you look at some of the suggestions we provide you and you want to adapt it. This agent is interactive, right? It can actually go and make additional changes based off of the feedback that you give it. And then here I've actually asked it to make one change and then actually add it to the specific task for it to be a part of this project going forward. This agent makes it very, very easy for you to be able to go from that initial request to actually having the high quality creative brief written for you. Now, as these campaigns or these projects go along, you may have the need to be actually having social post copy created for you on your behalf. So this is where our social post generator agent comes into place. When you have a new project that's coming through and you want to actually have that social copy written for you, ClickUp's agent will come and help you. Typically, this is an area where you may not have a lot of time, or maybe that time when you need to do it, you're lacking inspiration. This social post creator agent will come and help you and actually not just generate copy for you for Facebook, for Twitter, for Instagram, or for X, but it will also generate imagery for you to be able to share as a part of that, as well as recommendations for maybe when you want to share this content. And then maybe that post it gives you, you want to make some adjustments to it. Like all the agents that I'll be showing to you today, they're actually interactive to where that initial go, the thing that it gives you can ask it for changes, making modifications, and the agent will come and add an additional edit for you so you can review and maybe use that second copy. Or you can actually have this go and create a doc for you where you can go and make those edits directly inside of the copy is generated for you. Our goal here is to make that easy and seamless for you, making very quickly for you to go from that idea, from that project, to actually having that content that needs to be shared with your team. And again, this is only 2 of the marketing agents that are available out of the 10 that are available for the Marketing Accelerator.
Hey, so Devin, can you go back real quick? Because I think something that's interesting and unique about the ClickUp's approach to agents is how you interact with them. So you're showing that basically you're interacting with this agent as if it's another human colleague, human coworker who's in your workspace. So can you show like the actual @mention and how do you activate this agent?
Yeah, so this is really, really straightforward. All you need to do is either @mention the agent here. So we'll say social post generator agent. Let's run on this task. And this will go and start running for you. Or you have the ability to actually just assign this directly to a task and it will take action on the content you give it. And now these agents, again, like they're real individuals inside of your workspace. So you can even direct message them via chat, right? So you can have a chat conversation that's private between you and that agent, helping you to be able to get that content that you need. Maybe you want a lot of back and forth interaction with them. You can do that all directly from within chat and interacting directly with this agent. So we'll just say social post generator agent. And now I have this one-on-one discussion with this agent. Now, each one of these mechanisms to interact with the agent are available for the agents we're showing today. So these are meant to be agents you can interact where you need to interact with them at, because you may not know or may not know until the moment you need to have that agent where you need to trigger it at. So we just want to make it seamless to wherever your workflow is, ask the agent to come engage with you where you're at instead of having to go to engage where the agent's at, making your life easier.
Can you do a quick click on that view profile so you can also show somebody like how you can see aspects about what that agent does, right?
Absolutely. So you have the ability here to be able to see all the content from the agent, what triggers are available for that agent to be able to interact with, maybe even want to run this agent on a schedule, what tools are available for this agent to be able to use, and then what knowledge you actually give that agent. So you can take every one of these agents and actually give it the content it needs to be successful. The great thing about this, though, is we built all of this for you. So you don't have to come in being an expert in ClickUp and building agents to be able to use these agents. You just need to be able to have access to them in your workspace, and you can engage with them when you need to. If you want to customize them, great, that's up to you. But we have these ready at a high quality level to deliver you the content you need without needed customization unless you desire to have it.
Yeah, that's really well said, Devin. I think part of what I really like about this AI acceleration concept is that many people are just not aware of where to start and where to go. And what's cool about this ClickUp Accelerator package is, like Devin has mentioned, you get these 10 departmental agents, 10 agents in each department out of the box. And you can use them immediately, but you can also use them as inspiration for what's possible. Oh, we can have a social post generator. Well, could we build a press release generator? Yes, you can. And so you can use the agent builder experience inside of ClickUp to basically build whatever you want. So you get all these capabilities out of the box, value on day one, and then you can go and build whatever idea sparks in your brain that's making use of all the context that you have inside of ClickUp.
Totally agree. That's what I love about these accelerators. Let's move forward on the next one, product and engineering. So I'm sure there's folks out there that are in product management and in software development, engineering, using ClickUp, as we have so many customers out there doing that. And what our accelerators here are designed around is helping you, again, reduce the manual steps required in so much of the product lifecycle engineering, right? So what we've done is we've packaged 10 product and engineering agents, including things like generating your feature briefs, generating your release notes, helping you prioritize your backlog, doing your bug reports and summarizing them, helping you refine your user stories, incident summaries. So there's so much that we're trying to help alleviate the manual steps of what PMs and engineers have to do in their life cycle. And there's the 10 that we have is just the starting point. There's so much more that we can help you enable as well.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about these agents, and Devin's going to show some of them, and feel free, Devin, to flick over to your demo now. But the genesis of these agents that we created for the marketing team, for the product and eng ones, for the ones we're going to show in the future, these are the most popular use cases for ClickUp. So, we have 20 million users that are using ClickUp for an enormously long tail of use cases. So, of course, this is not comprehensive of everything you can use ClickUp for. But for marketing teams, for product and eng teams, for services teams, these are the things that they're most commonly using ClickUp for. And we thought, well, hey, we have this new capability with AI. Let's codify everything we can to, again, remove the friction as much as possible and make you even more productive inside of ClickUp. So the genesis of these agents that Devin and team have built and are now delivering to customers is these are the most popular things that people are actually using ClickUp for. So just wanted to interject. Go ahead, Devin.
Yeah, no, that's great. We're very well said, both of you. So let's dive into the feature brief generator agent. This is very similar to the creative brief agent we shared earlier, but this is specific to engineering teams. This is really helpful for your engineering and product teams to be able to go from a feature request, new task in the list coming in, and actually taking that snippet that was given to you by maybe a stakeholder or a requester and turning it into a fully fledged feature brief for your team to be able to go and make edits to, make adjustments. This is just something I mentioned inside a specific task, but like we showed earlier, I can also come in and just interact with this agent. Maybe I want to do it via DM. Maybe I want to be able to just mention it somewhere inside of any task. You can do that there. This agent is available for you to go and do. And now it allows you to be able to, again, go and have that, deploy it directly into your task, maybe make some additional edits to it. And now you're up and running and you can focus on the actions and edits instead of coming up with that feature brief from scratch. Now, as your work progresses, you need to be able to go and do something like, say, for example, write your feature or release notes. This is where our feature release agent comes into play. This allows you to be able to give it the information that is needed, whether it's all the content from a specific sprint. Maybe you want to have a list of projects or tasks you want to be included in your release notes. This will allow you to be able to pull all that content in. It will also be able to reference any additional or existing release notes. Maybe you have a specific voice or format you want those release notes to follow. You don't need to worry about customizing this agent to do it. You can just reference them here. And not only will it reference those release notes that you already have, as well as the completed content, it will also take your new release notes that it's generating for you and add them in line with the release notes that you have. And now you have this agent that meets you where you're at with your release notes, pulls in your completed content from maybe a specific sprint, and actually adds them in your release notes for your team to be able to go and review, make edits to, and then share either internally or even share externally, making it very, very easy for you to go from completed work to actually sharing of that work with both your internal teams as well as your customers.
That sharing with internal teams is so important. And I know there are a lot of marketing people in the room, and you might think, well, what does a marketing person care about how the product and eng team? We care a lot about how the product and eng team is operating and what's coming down the pike. It informs our roadmaps, it informs our launches, it informs everything. And certainly not here at ClickUp, but in past lives, getting this information out of the heads of our product managers was like pulling teeth. It's really, really hard. So having this kind of automation here that is going to organize what's happening across the workspace and organize it into these release notes is so helpful for marketers as they're planning all of the different things that we're planning. So there's all this cross-functional and cross-departmental usefulness that I'm really glad you called out there, Devin, because it is so critical in helping make sure that not just a department is running smoothly and effectively, but a whole company is.
I just have a lot of chagrin here, Kyle, because this agent was actually built based off of our internal release notes agent that we built to help our internal processes to make it easier.
Yeah. So many moving parts in teams. You really need to collaborate in a single place, and agents can help you do that, right? All right, let's move on. Services. Services and, where people are using ClickUp to deliver work with their clients, whether you're professional services or even internal services, if you're shared services or, a department within a larger organization, you have clients that you're working with. And a lot of times you need to be able to collaborate with your clients, provide them updates, right? And it can be onerous. And so what we've done is we've built agents to really help your services folks deliver updates to those clients, whether it's things like, giving an executive summary about the project status, doing an engagement kickoff, right? When you're kicking off a new project, giving the status of the implementation, identifying risks and mitigating them, giving you a deliverable readout, right? So there's so many things that are typically a headache for people that are delivering work for clients. And we want to make it as easy as possible for those types of users, project managers, consultants, to be able to get their work done. And that's what these agents are focused on.
Yeah, so let's dive in and start showing you just a couple of the agents that are available for services teams. I'm going to focus on a couple agents here that are really just meant to make your life easy on the communications documentation, so you can focus more on the actions, the to-dos, the things that need to get done. So let's start off first with this follow-up email drafter agent. So taking notes on calls, sending follow-up emails, drafting those follow-up emails is typically not the most fun or exciting thing to do on any client engagement. We want to make that really, really easy for you. So this is where this comes in. Now, whether you're using your own written notes or whether you're using some other AI tool, you can share those in here inside of ClickUp and the agent can use those. Even better, if you're actually using AI Note Taker, then you can actually just @mention the agent and I @mention the doc here. I didn't even have to leave ClickUp to be able to go from my meeting notes to actually drafting a follow-up email. So big plug here for AI Note Taker. If you're not already using it, it definitely makes this process even more seamless. So now it takes all the content from these specific meeting notes and it's turned it into a follow-up email. This is dynamically generated based off of the discussion items we had on that call. What are the next steps we discussed on that call? What are the actual key risks or updates that are needed to be shared? It pulls all those from those, puts it in an email format for you. And now you can go and take this and share this with customers via sending an email directly to them. Or there's even an email tool inside of ClickUp where you can actually send this directly from ClickUp to customers if you so desire. This makes it really easy to go from the discussion to the actions and focusing less on having to get all this in-between stuff done. Yeah. Now, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it also improves your client satisfaction, working with you, showing that you're on top of things, right? Your responsiveness and how fast you're able to follow up. Hey, thanks for the meeting today, tracking the action items, and then, of course, creating those action items as tasks so that you have accountability, right? No one's dropping the ball. You don't forget that you've got these things to do. Often people are juggling multiple clients and they can't keep track of all the different things that are going on. So this really helps you create a system that you are moving faster and keeping track of things and delivering better client, work to your customers.
Yeah, well said. On the receiving end of a lot of different service delivery, it is extremely frustrating when you just don't know as the customer what is happening. And if you have a meeting and it takes them a couple days to do this follow-up email, you're like, what? I'm clearly not a priority here. And so having this and just eliminating that busy work, like Devin said, writing the follow-up email is not the most glamorous work in the world. So getting it done for you, and certainly solving the blank page problem, giving you the shell of all the important stuff, and then you edit it on the margins and make it perfect. And you respond 20 minutes after that meeting, the customer is going to be like, holy smokes, I must be the most important thing they're working on right now. And that's the feeling that you want to engender in all your customer relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes the customer's feedback to you more high quality and relevant because their memory's fresh from the call. So now the likelihood of you getting a really good response that is going to be helpful and making the customer help them remember what they need to remember is also there. So let's talk about the client project progressing. And oh, by the way, I just did a little shout out here for Brain. And I could even have mentioned the agent to do this. I've now gone directly from those notes to what I send to the customer to actually turning these into action items to be done inside of my workspace, making it very, very easy to go into those actions.
So real quick, Devin, on that, because I think many people don't know what the @Brain agent is. The @Brain agent, I think of it as kind of my executive assistant that's able to do basically anything that I request it to do. And so, Devin, I know you're sharing your screen, but you can invoke the agent by mentioning Brain, and then you can ask it to do anything, web research and turning docs into action items, or whatever comes top of mind for you. So it's very cool that you have these purpose-built departmental agents that are doing something specific. And then you have the general purpose @Brain agent that can do basically anything else. And with the combination of this fleet of agents basically that you have at your beck and call, you will not believe the productivity gains that you're able to get as a result. So wanted to call that out because that @Brain agent is extremely powerful.
Yeah, agreed. Well, let's dive into the next agent and how your project and your engagements are progressing, and actually be able to give you insight into what's going on. This is where our Engagement Health Summarizer agent comes into place. So our Engagement Health Summarizer agent helps you to be able to go in and have both overarching summaries of where all your client engagements are, as well as detailed info on what's going on with each of these individual summaries. So I just invoked this. I mentioned in the chat channel, it's provided me a summary of all the individual engagements, what the current score is on that engagement, but it's also generated these detailed docs. Each one of these has all the content from the engagement, letting you know what's actually going on in detail. Maybe as a leader, you want to be able to dive into one that's at risk, or maybe the health score is low, or maybe you're actually the project manager for that specific engagement. You want to be able to see the details. It's here for you to be able to access. And now you have all the information, whether it's a risk or blocker that's going on, maybe there's next steps that need to be done, what are the things that need to be resolved, making it really easy for you to go and see what's going on and make sure that you're taking the relevant actions, and you as a leader have visibility across all of the engagements that are going on in your company. And that's just the 2 we're showing for services. Again, there are 8 more of these agents for services, all helping you out and being more productive with the different work that you're doing.
Hey, yeah. as a little bit of a pause here, and I know we're going to get into the next department here in a moment, but I know many people are going to want to build for themselves, and I'm curious to get your best practices, Devin and Angela, as you're thinking about building an agent for yourself. Where do you start? Like, what recommendation would you have to people? Maybe Devin, we'll start with you. Like, how do you go about thinking through the type of agent that you need to build?
First, I always try to start off, what is the mission I want that agent to do for me? Like, understanding what am I clearly going to ask it to do. Agents are only as good as the instructions you give them. AI is only as smart as you make it. Maybe that sounds a little odd, but I think there's a lot of truth in there. As you're going and building an agent, I need to actually tell it, and I'm going to just go into our agent interface here. I need to tell it exactly what I want to do. And this is where ClickUp's V1, I'm not the marketing person here, Kyle. I'm using the wrong name. This is where Agent Builder lives, and you can come in and actually just engage with this agent. Tell it the mission you want it to complete. Maybe I want you to be a project reporting agent. Maybe you want you to write creative briefs. We've actually built this as a vibe coding experience for you, so you can just have this conversation back and forth with our agent builder, and it will build the agent for you, and you can customize it over time. So it's not something that you build once and it's ready to go, and you're like, hey, you know what? I can't make any changes to it. This not only will build it for you initially, but as you go along, this also helps you get to a high quality agent. So Kyle, I think the answer is know what you want it to do, but also don't worry, because we're here to help you to be able to make these high quality agents so you don't have to have all the answers at once.
I love that, Devin. How about you, Angela? Any best practices for agent design and agent building?
Yeah, I am a big fan of taking best practices and copying them and making them my own. So I love taking what agents that other people have built. I just go to the menu and I look at what other people are using. And then I'll just, copy and create my own version. I will also start from here if it's something that I've, unique to my workflow and how I want the agent to work. And I, just like Devin, will put in normal text as if I'm talking to, a helper, to ask them to build me an agent, and it will walk through the steps and show me how to build it. So that's what we've really invested a lot of time to make sure that creating agents is easy for any and every user. as opposed to other AI tools which require complex, a developer mindset to actually do that process. And so that's what's great and is really helping the growth and virality of agents in our customer base.
100%. And I think about agents as workflow codification. And a workflow is not a simple start from A and go to B type thing. A workflow has some sort of complexity. It's going from all the way from A to Z. And the best agents and the best agent builders are people that have process expertise, domain expertise, to be able to go all the way from A to Z and codify those instructions so that the outputs are up to your standards. And that's the beauty of that process that Angela and Devin just described, is that using ClickUp to build, you have a real opportunity to inject your own best practices, your own domain expertise, your own content to use, that the agent can use the instructions and follow the template and the protocols and things like that. So think about the process that you're codifying and ensure that you are giving a robust instruction set as if you are documenting a standard operating procedure for a human colleague to go and follow. And if you can be that rigorous in how you define the instructions, you're going to be thrilled with the results.
Completely agree. I mean, you would be setting up a human peer for failure if you didn't give them those same set of instructions. And for some reason, we seem to expect AI to function without that information. So, I mean, really, that's a great perspective to come and look at, to be able to give it what it needs to be successful.
Very good. All right. Sorry for the intermission, but I figured I saw a lot of people asking the question. So here we go. On to project management.
Yeah. Project management is, probably the most horizontal agent or accelerator package that we have, because projects can be anything across different departments, whether you're legal, procurement, people, operations, et cetera. What we've done here is package the most common things that project managers need to do, regardless of the department you're in, right? Things like summarizing project status, kicking off the project, identifying risks, identifying action items. And again, like Devin's shown you examples before, it's all pre-built, but also tailorable so that, maybe you want your status report in one format for the project A, but another format for project B. Those are all things that you can teach the agent and modify, the output of.
Yeah.
You want to showcase something?
Well, let's dive in and show you some of the agents for our project management. And I'm actually going to start with a project summary agent and giving you a project report. Again, trying to focus on these agents that really are going to try to take away some of the mundane things that are not really adding a lot of value, but you have to do them, right? And this one for your project reporting, I've run tons of projects in the past. One of my least favorite things to do is write my end of the week project report. I report to Kyle. Kyle loves how late I am because he knows how much I love doing these things. This is why a project status report agent is so helpful inside of this process. This is another agent you can just @mention in your flow, and it's going to go in and pull all the relevant details for that project. I have a task here that has all of my project information. I literally am just @mentioning this agent in this task. It pulls all the content from this task for me, and then is actually turning this into a project report that is ready for me to be able to go in and make edits and adjustments to. And what's really, really cool here too is maybe I don't actually have the task handy. I'm just sitting inside of chat. I can actually just direct message this agent from chat and be able to have this exact same experience where I can come in and say, hey, project status report. I can go in and actually interact with it here. It's going to ask me for where the actual project is. I'll give that information, and it's going to go in and provide that response for me and deliver me this high quality project report that I can then go and make edits to. And what's really, really cool here is that I can also have further interactions with the agent, and maybe I wanted to make edits. Maybe it missed some details that I know and I remember. You can actually just give that feedback to the agent. It will provide that in, update the report for you. And now you have this ongoing experience of having better and better project reports over time. Now, with any project that you're kicking off and working on, you also need to be able to have an effective kickoff process. This is where our project kickoff summarizer agent comes into place. This is very similar to that follow-up email agent I was showing earlier, where it leverages the information from your call notes. Because again, that translation from call notes into the documentation is just not a fun process, right? So we want to make that as easy as possible. So the project's kickoff summarizer agent, I'm not mentioning it here. I'm just linking the notes from our kickoff call, and it takes all those notes, the transcript, all the action items and next steps that were pulled from it, and turns it into a kickoff summary. Now, with our kickoff summary, we're instructing it to pull out like the goals, the scope, the metrics that are, and what the next steps are, so that they can go and have that clear kickoff summary provided on the task. But again, this is something you can adjust and give feedback to the agents so that it can make this better over time for you. It makes it very, very easy for you to go from that discussion to getting the project off the ground and then focusing on turning this into the actual actions for the project.
So true.
Go ahead.
That's so true. The PMs, it's one of those painful things that nobody likes doing, but it's so necessary to make sure everyone's aligned, right, on what this project is. And what I love about it too, it's showing that you're on top of things and holding people accountable, right? So when people are brought in on a project later in the stage, or maybe you hand over a project to someone else, they have that full history. And luckily, it all comes from the note taker notes as well. So it makes it even easier.
What I love that we're talking about here is this concept of convergence. We're talking about an AI meeting note taker. We're talking about docs. We're talking about project management and tasks. We're talking about pulling information that maybe exists on a whiteboard. Like all these different work areas that in a life before ClickUp would have been separate apps are now all converged. And the power of that is really remarkable because the agents that you use and the humans that you're working with have all this context in one spot. And then Devin, in that previous overview that you were showing, that's wrapping up and rolling up all the tasks together, pulling it into a doc. It's all just the way that work should happen. It's really cool to see like this promise of convergence that I know our CEO Zeb has been talking about for 10 years almost. Mm-hmm. Seeing all of this come together and being stitched together by these AI agents is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, let's talk about people management, HR. Every organization has an HR team, right? And sometimes it's leaner than others. And what I love about agents is it's really helping so many workflows be automated and taking out the manual steps that are usually involved, doing things like helping you onboard new hires, right? Helping new hires know where to find things, how to go through their onboarding steps, collecting feedback from your employees, doing your 30, 60, 90-day plan, helping with, company communications, right? There's so many things that are like things that you have to do on a regular basis. And rather than having a human have to do that all the time, like why not leverage an agent to help you do it faster? And that's what we've built in the HR package.
Agreed. And I really like how you talked about just like, being lean here. These are also agents that can even be used by your hiring managers as well too. So it even makes the process where it's even easier for HR teams and hiring managers to be able to work together. So let's actually start off though with a new job role request where we have an agent, a job description writer agent that's engaging with you on a new request for a job. And this agent looks at the small request that you have for a new candidate coming in for a new job. And based on the details you provide it's going to write a job description. Now, maybe you don't have all the details. This agent doesn't just rely on what you provide it. It also searches the web for common job responsibilities for that specific job you're hiring for. So you don't have to have all the answers in order to be able to get a high quality job description. It's then going to write that for you and then post it directly to the task. Job description, again, read a review, make any adjustments to it to make sure that it matches what you're looking for. And if you have like a standard company job description that you want to be following with like, headers and footers, you can also provide that, and the job description agent will also honor that so that you have this job description that's expected and is in the format that you want it to be. Now, as you move from a new job request coming in and something's hired, let's actually show you how easy it is to go from this job request for an individual to turning this into actually a list of onboarding tasks for your team member coming in. So this is where the onboarding task list builder agent comes into place. This agent allows me to be able to just mention it. In this case, I'm mentioning it via chat. I'm giving it a link to the new hire that we just hired. And I'm also giving it a list where I want it to actually go in and pull from maybe a previous hire we have because we have the same set of tasks we want that person to follow. Or maybe you have a template you want it to follow here and actually create that for you. It doesn't matter. The agent can respect both of those. And it's going to go and take this new hire request. It's going to ask you where you want to place those new hire tasks. And then it's going to actually create that list for you. And now you have a list of new hire tasks to be completed.
We're losing you, Devin.
Sorry.
Your audio is kind of going wobbly for a second. I have no idea why.
I don't know where I got cut off, but just showing the onboarding task list that this has been created from the new hire request.
It's pretty cool. And it's cool that our own team internally is doing all of this. And it's been amazing to see how streamlined the onboarding process is, how streamlined the ongoing HR initiatives are because of this type of organization and automation. And then the other cool thing that our HR team has done is they've created all these different agents that you can interact with to get your questions asked and answered about benefits and pay time off and all the different policies that we have. And so again, like Devin, what you just showed, it's the tip of the iceberg. And for HR teams that are using ClickUp, of which there are many, hopefully this is a light bulb moment for y'all to say, oh, wow, imagine if I didn't have to just stare at my computer all day and answer these inane questions that everybody across the company has. Imagine if I had an agent that was able to handle that for me. And you're going to have all these light bulb moments for all these different areas that you can outsource to AI so that you can go and focus on more strategic work.
Yeah, I've worked with more than one customer who's told me that their HR team, and this is not only just HR, but other teams using ClickUp Chat and creating answers agents, they have fewer tickets and fewer distractions of DMs and pings for questions that an agent can answer. You know, whether it's about benefits and time off, or for the people use case, for the legal use case, for sales, like every single team, there's always that, you know, role that somebody has to manually answer questions for the field or anybody in the company. And you have the ability to create a chat channel with an agent to help you answer those questions. And it's one of my favorite features of how agents can help productivity of the organization.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. And actually, let's talk about some of these customer results. And before we do, I want to say we have one last poll question. If any of this has been interesting to you and you're curious, how can I start to use some of these agents today? Talk to our team. Raise your hand in the poll, say yes. There's also a book a meeting button at the top of the screen that you can click. We will be in touch with you. If not today, then definitely tomorrow. And we'll have this conversation about what department are you representing? What area do you want to experience AI acceleration in most? It could be multiple departments if that's the way you want to go. And we can talk about how we can stand these agents up inside of your workspace for you, again, so that you can get immediate value here within a couple of weeks. So raise your hand, say yes in the poll, or click the book a meeting button in the top right-ish of your screen, and we will be in touch. Back over to you, Angela, to talk through some customers.
Yeah, I would love to talk about 3 customer stories just to give you examples of customers that have benefited from ClickUp and consolidating tools, solving the work sprawl problem. So the first one that we want to talk about is Van Homes. Van Homes, they build homes, mobile homes, and try and make it so that housing is more affordable. And I love the cause of what their business is around. And they chose ClickUp to streamline their operations, bring all their teams onto a single unified platform, because before ClickUp, they really struggled with scattered tools, manual processes that was slowing down delivery of projects, right? And it made collaboration really challenging. And so with ClickUp, they were able to centralize project management, automate repetitive tasks so that they could get real-time visibility into their workflows. And with AI and a unified workspace, they were able to bring over staff, like over 100 people across their design, engineering, factory floor, customer sites. Everyone's always on the same page, right? So they're able to be 15% more efficient, right? Or have fewer quality issues by having tickets streamlined in the same system. So I love one of their quotes here from Nicole, like, you know, other platforms force you to fit into their structure, and with ClickUp, it adapts to you, our processes or challenges. And that's one of my favorite features of what we talk about with ClickUp is the flexibility for adapting to different teams and different workflows and use cases. So we've given you an example today of 5 different workflows that you can use accelerators for, but there is no limit to what work is to anybody. And I talk about this all the time when I meet with customers, like anybody and everybody that's tracking work, having meetings, has to-dos, should and will benefit from using ClickUp. And so that's the first story with Van Homes. Our second story is with Made In Cookware. I know the company's called Made In, but I always have to add the cookware because I feel like it's missing the last piece. Made In Cookware. They're the kitchenware brand. Some of you might have them in your kitchen. They were really struggling to manage incoming requests, and projects were scattered across different locations and tools, and they chose ClickUp to consolidate their work and really leverage the AI-powered solutions. And so the IT technology team implemented ClickUp. And so they structured their intake and cross-departmental collaboration across the different teams, right? So it helps them so that they're saving 3 to 5 minutes on every service ticket. They've achieved 80% adoption rate, which I love, in less than 4 months. And that, again, is one of the great things I love talking about with ClickUp. I've been in the space of project and work management over 25 years. And when I talk with customers coming from legacy tools, like ClickUp is fast, rapid time to value. And these accelerators are just another way that we're showing how fast we can help people with AI and drive accelerated deployment, right? So Maiden has done an amazing job. And their team was so impressed with ClickUp's impact that after their evaluation, they didn't even need to look at any tools, and they completed their data migration actually from Airtable ahead of schedule because we were able to help them move quickly. And finally, Shipt is the delivery service. Some of you might have their app for deliveries owned by Target. They needed to streamline their operations, especially around cross-team collaboration, as their business was scaling and growing so quickly. And so they chose ClickUp to bring together marketing, data platform, security, and other teams on a single converged workspace. And by consolidating all those different communication channels and tools, they're able to operate more efficiently, do work faster. They've accelerated how they deliver programs, especially around marketing programs that they're working on, which is all the time delivering based on the pace of their growth and the things that they're trying to accomplish. And as one of their senior directors said, like ClickUp really allowed them to streamline their operations and making it easier to collaborate, which is, I think one of the key things that anybody and every company and leader that I talk with is trying to figure out how to solve is building and doing more with less. And the way that you do that is by converging everybody on a single platform to streamline workflows and leverage AI to help everybody work faster. And so that's what we're excited about, is like momentum of people realizing how they can apply AI with tools like ClickUp and accelerators and agents, because it really is transforming the way that people work. And it's not only transforming, but I always tell people, you have to reimagine the way that you work.
Right.
That the way you did things yesterday or last year are totally going to be different than the way you do it today. No matter what role, what level of the organization you're at, and everybody's way of working is changing. And our job is to help people learn that art of the possible, right? And get you there as fast as possible. And that's really what we've, focused on with the way you build agents, the way we package these agents and accelerators, and that we're going to continue building for all of our customers.
Really well said, Angela. Really well said. And with that, there's actually one other thing I wanted to address because I saw it come up a lot in the Q&A, and our lovely team behind the scenes has been answering the questions, which is a question around agent permissions and agent structure. What can an agent see? How can we be sure that things that are off limits for certain users are off limits for agents? Devin, can you speak a little bit to the permissioning and user level, role level permissioning that agents have?
Yeah, this is one of the things I love about how we're approaching agents is making it so that agents only have access to the content they need. You also have the ability to have private agents. So if you need to have an agent that has access to confidential information on your behalf, that can just be your agent. And you can make it just something that's accessible to you, or you can have shared agents that have access to shared content. Agents are not going to give users access to content they should not have access to. And that's the beauty of making them. They're become an extensible option to be able to access and work with your content instead of something that actually adds risk. They're only adding value to your work.
That's right. So maybe put differently, if I invoke an agent to go do fact finding or synthesis or research or whatever, that agent will not have access in ClickUp to anything that I, Kyle, do not have access to. So it inherits my permissions. And that's a really unique way about how ClickUp is set up. And it's one of the ways that, we are the most secure AI platform. I think we have literally the highest rating of security it's something we take very seriously. So anyway, wanted to call that out because I know it's really top of mind for people and they're hearing a lot of horror stories about AI agents sharing information they shouldn't share and all the rest. That will not happen inside of ClickUp because of the way that we're hierarchically set up. Okay, Angela, Devin, you two are absolute legends. I really appreciate it. Devin, I don't know if you saw in the chat, but somebody wants to create a Devin Stoker agent in their ClickUp workspace. So you're a celebrity.
Wonderful. I'll have to connect with that person afterwards and see how we can make that happen.
Thank you so much, Angela. I really appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Hope this is a good use of your time. If you do want to learn more about ClickUp Accelerator and how we can get your 2026 off and running, please raise your hand, book a meeting with our team, and we will do everything we can, as Angela said, to make you successful. Thanks so much.
Thanks for attending. Have a good one.